Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival. There's brand new music from Sons of Apollo. It's called Desolate July on Rock and Metal Revival. And Jerry, I'm digging this album.
Cool, man. I love this album.
Yeah, this is a great album. And we want to welcome back to RMR Mike Portnoy. Welcome back to the show, Mike.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Like I said, we're loving the new release, 2020. How hard was it to follow up such a great debut album like Psychotic Symphony? Were you trying to best the first one? Because I think you might have done it.
Well, thank you. I think we did as well, actually. I think we're all really proud of it, and I think we all think it's even better than the first, which we loved already as it was. But every time you make a record, you want it to be the best it could be, and you try to always better up the previous one. So this was no different. But it wasn't that hard. We just do what we do, follow our hearts, and make the best music we can. The hardest thing is the scheduling. I mean, that's the hardest thing with us, is getting all five of us to be available at the same time. But once we nailed that, the rest was pretty smooth.
Now I got a copy of the vinyl, and I got to hand it to you. A great package, the double fold out and everything's really cool. I saw the Sons of Apollo, the Psychotic Symphony concert you guys did. I got the DVD thing. Is there a an equivalent for double neck drums?
Well, double bass drums.
Well,
I have two bass drums. Ron's got two guitar necks. Billy's got
two bass
necks. And I also have a double chin as well that you can't see from through my blue beard. So.
That's why we got beards, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, just from listening to 2020, I get the feeling that you guys have just got some unbelievable chemistry in that band. Is this something that you guys had to work on, or was this something that, like, the first time you guys all got together, you knew you had it?
Well, this was my dream lineup. I was the one that kind of dreamt up this lineup and put it together. And I'd worked with pretty much everybody, one-on-one through the years. Obviously, Derek and I were in Dream Theater together in the 90s. Billy and I are in the Winery Dogs together. Bumblefoot and myself did a whole bunch of different various things like Metal Allegiance and a few other shows and gigs together in the past. So I knew, and then also, we did PSMS together, myself and Billy and Derek. So, we had all worked together in different individual formations, but I always pictured in my head this lineup. I never really pictured anybody else in this band, and luckily everybody was into it, and as soon as we started making the music together, it really it gelled. There was a writing chemistry there that was real smooth, and then once we started touring together, you get the personal chemistry together, and everybody starts to really get to know each other, on that level. You're living together all year long on the bus or planes or dressing rooms. So, yeah, it clicked pretty quickly.
Well, my biggest thing of showing what a great album is when you throw it down and you listen from beginning to end. You don't skip a track. And I get this from this album. But the track I've been digging since the first time I heard it is the song Wither to Black. Now, I mean, it's no secret how much you were influenced by the late Neil Peart. Do I hear some Rush overtones in that song?
Well, the original working title of the riff, when Bumblefoot brought the main riff in, it was called Rush Garden, because it was kind of Rush and kind of Soundgarden. And then the verses already have a bit of that Tom Sawyer feel. And the third verse of the song, we actually, Derek put in one of those Tom Sawyer, synth hits, the bass drops or whatever. We did it kind of as a tribute to Rush and Tom Sawyer, and then Jeff even wrote the lyrics, Modern Day Warrior or something, whatever the lyrics that he wrote, kind of like paying homage to Rush. Yeah, so obviously with Neil's passing and everything, it's even more, more poignant or whatever. But obviously even before Neil passed, Rush has been a huge influence on all of us. So there's no denying that.
So you guys are on tour right now. How much more touring do you got with Sons of Apollo?
We're about to wrap up the North American tour. We have a couple more shows here. We've been out since last month, and it's been great kicking off the North American tour, and now we go to Europe throughout February and March, and then down to South America in April, and then we'll see where it takes us from there. But we pretty much carved out most of this year to concentrate on Sons of Apollo. Obviously, we all have a million other things going, but we kind of were focusing on Sons of Apollo for 2020.
Well, and now, I guess that was my question. Do you guys put all your other projects on the back burner for the whole year then? And because I know,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we all have control over the scheduling of our other bands and projects. The only exception to that is Jeff with TSO. So we usually have to wind down around mid-October for him to get into the holiday season with TSO. Obviously, he's got no control over that schedule. But otherwise, everything else, like Winery Dogs or Flying Colors or Transatlantic or Bumblefoot with Asia, we kind of can control our situations pretty well. So we do our best to juggle it all.
Cool. Now, you guys did the live album after the last album. Are you guys got any plans to do a live album this year for this one?
Pretty much every band I'm a part of, I do like a live release for every tour cycle just to kind of document it. So at the moment, we haven't pinpointed a date and a place, but I'm sure it will happen. It usually happens with every band I play in.
Now, the Psychotic Symphony one you guys just did with the Bulgarian Symphony?
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one to top. That was
awesome.
First time around, and it's pretty much firing on every cylinder with all the bells and whistles with that one.
Yeah, I put it on, and I had no idea there were all these cover songs on it, and then I heard you guys do Diary of a Madman, and I just got goosebumps. I've never heard it done live, and with a symphony like that.
We played this great Roman amphitheater out in Bulgaria, and they always do this concert series where they have an orchestra and a choir, and a lot of bands will go there and do like special set lists where they'll play like a few albums from their catalog in their entirety. But in our case, we only had one album, so I had the idea of doing a second set with all cover songs. So we ended up doing Aerosmith, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Rainbow, Ozzy, Van Halen, and all these really cool covers that I knew would sound great with an orchestra. Hearing Kashmir with an orchestra, Diary of a Madman with a choir and everything.
That was
amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Now, we just heard Desolate July. And I've got a serious question now. At the beginning, you got the two bells, and then the piano comes in, and then is that Bumblefoot with a fretless guitar playing some cool melody?
Yeah, it almost sounds like a theremin, but that's Bumblefoot on the fretless guitar.
You think that part could have used some cowbell?
Well, if you listen really close, there's some backwards cowbells being put through a theremin as well.
Backwards cowbell. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Well, Mike, we really appreciate your time today. We just missed you down in Arcata the other night down in St. Charles, Illinois, so we hope
it was a great one.
We hope you guys get back around. We love everything you're doing with Sons of Apollo,
sure.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your time today. And we're going to play Wither to Black, and Mike Portnoy, is always a pleasure to have you on Rock and Metal Revival.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much for having me.